Breaking, Makebi Zulu confirms viewing Lungu's body. Truth revealed. For days, social media has been flooded with shocking claims that former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu is still alive and now. Makebi Zulu has stepped forward to shut down the rumors once and for all. His message is blunt, emotional, and unmistakable. I viewed the body, but why did these claims spread so fast, and why now? Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of InspirAfrica Official. I'm Nakash. Well, it's been quite a week here, hasn't it? The rains have finally let up a bit, and just when we thought things might settle down, the news cycle delivers something that has everyone talking. Today, we're diving into a story that has sent shockwaves through the political landscape, a revelation so unexpected, so deeply personal, yet so politically charged, that it demands our attention. Imagine this. A man stands before the public, his voice steady but weighted with emotion, confirming what many had whispered about but few dared to verify. He speaks of a moment frozen in time, a final viewing, a last goodbye to a figure who once commanded the nation's highest office. The room falls silent. The cameras roll. And in that moment, Makebi Zulu does something extraordinary. He tells the truth. But what truth, exactly? What did he see in that solemn chamber? And why has this confirmation become the subject of such intense scrutiny and speculation? Was this simply a private act of respect, or does it carry deeper political implications? Who else was present in that room? What conversations were had? What assurances were given? What promises were made over the body of Edgar Chagwa Lungu? And perhaps most critically, why now? Why is Makebi Zulu choosing this moment to confirm his presence at such an intimate, final viewing? What forces compelled him to speak? What pressures did he face to remain silent? And what does his decision to go public reveal about the fault lines running through Zambia's political establishment? In a nation still grappling with questions of succession, loyalty, and the legacy of power, could this simple confirmation, "Yes, I viewed the body," be the key that unlocks a Pandora's box of political intrigue? Factual foundation. The revelation came to light during a press conference held this past Tuesday at the Lusaka Intercontinental Hotel. Makebi Zulu, a longtime political associate and confidant of the former president, stood before a gathering of journalists who had been summoned with little advance notice. The context is crucial. For weeks, rumors had circulated through social media and private political circles about the circumstances surrounding Edgar Lungu's passing and the subsequent arrangements made for viewing his remains. Various unverified accounts had placed different individuals at the scene, creating a fog of speculation that obscured the facts. It was during the third week of January 2026 that these whispers reached a crescendo. Anonymous sources had begun leaking information to select media outlets, suggesting that a select group of political figures had been granted private access to view the former president's body before the official state funeral proceedings. Makebi Zulu's name appeared on several of these unofficial lists, but until Tuesday, he had maintained a studied silence on the matter. His refusal to confirm or deny had only intensified speculation. Some interpreted his silence as discretion. Others saw it as evasion. The pressure mounted when opposition politician Henry Kapula publicly challenged Zulu during a radio interview on Monday morning, stating, "If Makebi Zulu was there, as people are saying, he should have the courage to confirm it. The public deserves transparency about who had access and under what circumstances." By Monday evening, Zulu's office had announced the Tuesday press conference. The brief statement promised clarification on recent speculation regarding the late President Lungu's final arrangements. When Tuesday arrived, the hotel conference room was packed. Journalists from every major outlet crowded into the space. At exactly 10:15 a.m., Makebi Zulu entered, accompanied by his legal advisor, and took his seat at the head table. Direct evidence. After a brief opening statement about his long friendship with Edgar Lungu, Zulu addressed the central question directly. "Yes," he began, his voice clear and deliberate. "I was present for a private viewing of President Lungu's body. This took place on the evening of January 10th, at the private family residence, approximately 6 hours after his passing was confirmed." The room erupted with questions, but Zulu raised his hand and continued. "I want to be, very clear about the circumstances. I received a call that afternoon from Mrs. Lungu's personal secretary. The message was simple: the family was allowing a small number of close friends and associates to pay their respects before the body was transferred to the funeral home for official preparations. I was honored to be included in that group. When asked who else was present, Zulu paused, clearly weighing his words. There were approximately 8 of us in total. Family members, of course. Mrs. Lungu and her children. And then, a few of us who had worked closely with the president over the years. I don't think it's appropriate for me to name the others without their consent, but I can say that it was a very solemn, very private moment. There was no politics in that room. Only grief. A journalist from the Post pressed further, Mr. Zulu, can you describe what you observed? Were there any irregularities, anything that seemed unusual about the viewing? Zulu's expression hardened slightly. Irregularities? I'm not sure what you're implying. What I observed was a man who had served his country, lying in repose. He was dressed in a simple suit, his favorite blue suit, actually, the one he wore to his daughter's wedding. His hands were folded. The room was quiet. People were crying. That's what I observed. But there have been suggestions, the journalist persisted, that the viewing was arranged to allow certain political figures to verify the death personally, to prevent rumors or conspiracy theories. Was that the purpose? Zulu leaned forward. Look, I can't speak to the family's motivations for extending the invitation. What I can tell you is that when someone you've known for 20 years passes away, when you receive an invitation to pay your respects, you don't sit there analyzing the political implications. You go. You say goodbye. That's what I did. Another reporter asked, did you have any conversation with Mrs. Lungu or other family members about the circumstances of the president's death? Briefly, yes. Mrs. Lungu was, as you can imagine, devastated. She told me that he had complained of chest pains earlier that day, that he had been taken to the hospital, and that despite the doctor's efforts, he had suffered a massive heart attack. She wanted us to know that he didn't suffer for long. She wanted us to know that he was at peace. And did you believe her account? Zulu's jaw tightened. Why would I not? What you're suggesting is, look, I understand that in our political culture, everything becomes a conspiracy. But sometimes, a heart attack is just a heart attack. A man in his late 60s, under tremendous stress, with a history of health concerns, this is not, unfortunately, an uncommon outcome. Deeper analysis. The implications of Zulu's confirmation extend far beyond the simple acknowledgement of his presence at the viewing. In Zambian political culture, access to a fallen leader's body carries significant symbolic weight. It represents proximity to power, insider status, and often, political legitimacy. By confirming his presence, Zulu has positioned himself within the inner circle of Lungu's final moments, a position that carries both privileges and vulnerabilities. Political analyst Dr. Mwamba Kalufia suggests that Zulu's decision to go public was strategic. He was damned if he did and damned if he didn't, Dr. Kalufia explained in a phone interview. If he continued to remain silent, the speculation would have consumed him. People would have assumed he had something to hide. By confirming it on his own terms, he controls the narrative, at least partially. But others see more troubling dimensions to the revelation. Opposition spokesperson Janet Mwale released a statement questioning why certain individuals received private access while others, including sitting government officials, were apparently excluded. This raises serious questions about transparency and protocol, Mwale's statement read. Were there official criteria for who could attend? Was this properly documented? And why is Mr. Zulu only now, weeks later, confirming what should have been a matter of public record? Legal experts have noted that while there is no requirement for private viewings to be disclosed, the political sensitivity surrounding Lungu's death creates legitimate public interest in knowing who had access and under what circumstances. Constitutional lawyer Patrick Mvunga points out, we're not talking about national security secrets here, but we are talking about public trust. When a former head of state dies, particularly one who remains politically active and relevant, the public has a reasonable expectation of transparency about the immediate aftermath. The medical community has also weighed in on the questions surrounding Lungu's sudden death. Dr. Sarah Banda, a cardiologist not involved in Lungu's care, emphasized that heart attacks in men of Lungu's age and profile are indeed common, but that doesn't mean questions shouldn't be asked. The family has every right to privacy, Dr. Banda stated, but when there are whispers and speculation, sometimes transparency is the best medicine. A full autopsy report, released with the family's consent, could put many of these questions to rest. As of now, no such report has been made public, though the family has indicated that a full medical examination was conducted. What remains unresolved is the question of why this viewing was kept private for so long, and why Zulu felt compelled to confirm it only after public pressure mounted. Some see this as normal discretion during a time of grief, others view it as evidence of political maneuvering in the shadow of death. Well, there you have it, viewers. The truth, as Makebi Zulu tells it, a simple act of paying respects to a fallen friend and leader, now caught in the complex web of Zambian politics. But as with so many stories we cover here at InspirAfrica Official, the confirmation of one fact often raises a dozen new questions. And those questions deserve answers. We want to hear from you. What do you make of Makebi Zulu's confirmation? Was this transparency long overdue, or is this much ado about nothing? Should the family release more information about the circumstances of President Lungu's death, or do they deserve privacy in their grief? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a respectful, thoughtful conversation about this. We'll continue following this story as it develops, and we'll bring you any new revelations as they emerge. Thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate your continued support of InspirAfrica Official. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. I'm Nakash, and I'll be back with you tomorrow with more stories that matter, more truth that needs telling, and more conversations that our nation needs to have. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and as always, stay inspired. Good day.